Oslo, Norway, honors the person who has done the most or the best work for fraternity between nations, or the abolition or reduction of standing armies, and for the peace and promotion of peace congresses. They do this by awarding them the Nobel Peace Prize. In the past, the committee has given the prize to people as diverse as former South African President Nelson Mandela and Palestinian leader Yasser Arafat. In 1973, it even gave it to then Secretary of State Henry Kissinger, hard to say, for top honors for his work negotiating the Paris peace talks that ended America's involvement in the Vietnam War. That is, after Nixon extended that war. And let's not get into that. Anyway, this year's list of nominees includes the usual diplomats and dignitaries, but it also includes Private Bradley Manning, who is currently awaiting sentencing at Fort Meade, Maryland, for his role in leaking U.S. government documents to WikiLeaks. This Monday, supporters of Manning's nomination handed a 100,000 signature petition to the Nobel Committee in Oslo to demand that Bradley Manning receive this year's prize. One of the organizers of that petition, Norman Solomon, founding director of the Institute for Public Accuracy, joins us now. Norman, welcome back to the program.
Pleasure, Tom.
Great to have you with us. So tell us, how did this get started? What initiated this idea of giving Bradley Manning the Nobel Peace Prize? And what's the rationale behind it?
Yeah, at the political action group, rootsaction.org, we realized that Bradley Manning, far from being in a position to just defend himself or be defended, should be put forward as a role model. When you see something wrong, you should call it out. You should speak out against it. You know, it's the antithesis of that notorious phrase that gives us chills, just follow orders. No, you're not supposed to just follow orders. And Bradley Manning, and I think a former winner of the Nobel Peace Prize, Mayreed Corrigan-Maguire, said it very well. She nominated him for the Nobel Peace Prize and said, I can't think of anybody else more deserving. He blew the whistle, he exposed diplomatic cables and the now notorious collateral murder video. He showed that atrocities weren't just an anomaly in Iraq with the U.S. occupation. They were routine, and they were routinely covered up. And so, as Corrigan-Maguire pointed out just this summer, he deserves the Peace Prize in part because his revelations helped to shorten the U.S. military occupation of Iraq. And the way that happens is very simple, very quick. The Iraqi government said, oh, all this information's exposed. The U.S. government was covering up atrocities. Thanks to Bradley Manning, they knew about it, as we all learned about it. So the U.S. government must allow U.S. troops in Iraq to face Iraqi justice if there are accusations. There must be Iraqi jurisdiction.
And that was the line in the sand that George Bush would not go over.
It was a no-go. To the White House, you can't let U.S. troops answer to anybody in an occupied country that is a government represented by the people of that country. So that's why our troops were able to come home as soon, albeit as belated as they did.
Right, yeah. And you just identified one of the questions that I had for you, which is with the Nobel Peace Prize, you can't just send them a telegram or send them a letter and say, hey, you ought to pick Norman Solomon. Yeah. It's got to be somebody who has actually won the Nobel Peace Prize in the past, or there's a couple of other categories, but they're all quite close to that. It's kind of a little fraternity, and you said that a Nobel Peace Prize winner is the official nominee of Bradley Manning?
Well, yes, Mayreed Corrigan-Maguire, who won the Nobel Peace Prize for her wonderful work for peace in Northern Ireland, has made that nomination, and prior to that, early this year, some parliamentarians from the Iceland parliament put his name in nomination as well. So,
and they also, any government, people who are at that level can do that.
Yes,
as well.
In terms of the national parliament. So that has made Bradley Manning an official nominee for the Nobel Peace Prize. Wow. And when I went to Oslo on behalf of rootsaction.org and these 100,000 signers, by the way, more than 20,000 of them wrote their individual comments. So if people want to go to rootsaction.org, they can read some of those comments. Very moving. And I said to the research director on Monday in Oslo, big pile on the desk, here's a thumb drive, a PDF of the entire petition with all the comments. Please give one of these to each member of the Nobel Committee. I said, these are folks who are passionate. They're from every state in the United States and around the world. Please read this. Read the comments.
How did they respond?
Well, the research director was cordial, but it was a little icy for August in Oslo.
Well, they're not either used to, and I think probably they don't appreciate lobbying.
Well,
for a
because of the
nominee.
pressure from Corrigan Maguire as a former Peace Prize winner. Because when I arrived with the petition in Norway, within a few hours on Sunday and Monday, I was on the 2 TV national networks in Norway, including the most widely watched TV news there, major newspaper spreads as well. And so there was enormous domestic pressure for them at least to go through the motions. That said, there is a real strong tilt to the United States as reflected by the fact that only 4 years ago, President Barack Obama received the Nobel Peace Prize.
Right. Is there any chance that your lobbying like this could backfire and cause them to say, no, we don't want to look like we're succumbing to pressure? Or on the other hand, does it help, and should Americans who are watching right now go to rootsaction.org and get more involved, or other ways?
Well, it can only help for people to go to the rootsaction.org petition. I learned more in Norway that while the pretense is from the Nobel Committee, oh, we're above politics, we just go on the virtues of the situation. In point of fact, that committee of the Nobel apparatus, which has been in the building I visited now, very ornate structure for more than a century, it's very plugged into the political power structure of the Norwegian government. And so they're sensitive to political opinion.